Good evening, televiewers. You're welcome to the 6:30 Prime News on My Media Prime. Genda Peldrine Blanch King is my name. The headline. His Excellency President Paul Biya has received in audience today the French ambassador to Cameroon, His Excellency Christophe Guillot. And the meeting today was focused on ways to fight against COVID-19 in the country and in the world. These and many more up next on a subsequent edition of the news. The Popular Action Party has launched a nationwide hygiene and sanitation exercise to intensify the fight against COVID-19. The national chairman was in Limbe to donate hand sanitizers and face masks to some internally displaced persons living in Limbe and nearby communities, as Kuma Honore tells us in the following report.
The socio-political crisis affecting the two English-speaking regions of Cameroon has caused hardship and suffering to many individuals who are forced to flee war-torn zones to safer zones for fear of their lives. The town of Limbe is one of such safe areas where internally displaced persons have found solace since the onset of the Anglophone crisis. Communities and homes in Limbe have become overcrowded as a result of the crisis, with the hinterlands being a buffer zone for war atrocities. The situation has been made worse with the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus, leaving the internally displaced population vulnerable to infections, as most of them live in overcrowded houses even if they find a place to settle. It is within this backdrop that the Popular Action Party, under the leadership of the national chairman, Jean Denis, took on a humanitarian exercise to the town of Limbe and other towns in Fako division to donate hygiene and sanitation materials to internally displaced persons who constitute a high percentage of the vulnerable population to be affected by the COVID-19 pandemic.
The Popular Action Party for the past weeks have been carrying out sensitization campaign to sensitize Cameroonians on the present pandemic that is affecting the world and Cameroon. Our targets are mostly the internally displaced. Why? Because we have seen it necessary that those are the most vulnerable when it comes to this pandemic.
The donation exercise was appreciated by the beneficiaries, who called on others to emulate the gesture of the Popular Action Party to combat COVID-19 nationwide.
Glad for being here this afternoon, and I'm big glad for putting the way people that can share that for me. I want to move you for Mamisi, Kalana for Limbe. So I want to really thank God for this area for a party. They don't come give the hand sanitizer the way we take them with this face mask with the hello every day.
I'm living 5 degrees close to 7 in my house. There are so many humanitarian jobs that have came in this Limbe. I've never sought to benefit from any of them. I've registered those my own relatives that are in my house for so many days that I've never benefited anything from them. But I'm surprised that these people just came yesterday and they called me, and today I'm here with them. They can push their word to me. So thank you.
The donation will continue in Douala and Yaoundé in the days ahead.
The new mayor of Moyoka Council, Lajino Laza, has expressed concerns on the dwindled effects of the Anglophone crisis on the economy of Moyoka, being one of the highest exporter of food and cash crops in the southwest region of the country. The mayor, while launching a sensitization campaign against COVID-19 in the southwest region, called on all in the bushes and out of the country to assist in building the land once more. Clarice Ekowe with details.
Driving through Ikona to Moyoka this Wednesday, almost everywhere seemed deserted but for few occupants in their houses, while the frontage was covered up with dense forest. Yet, the determination by Mayor Laza of Moyoka to ensure a healthy population amidst the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as bring back the town to life, keeps the paddle moving. The mayor of Moyoka Council and his entourage then made their first stop at the police post in Moyoka, where they were received by the commissioner. They later proceeded to install these 2 giant water tanks to be used by the population of Moyoka as well as passengers to wash their hands during this period of the COVID-19 pandemic.
I'm the mayor of the grassroots, so I have to take very care a care for all the grassroots that they should not be attacked by the coronavirus. They're washing their hands and they are happy because the mayor is taking care of them.
These eager passengers alighted from their buses, stood on a queue and patiently waited for their turns to wash their hands before occupying back their seats on their buses. The sensitization campaign by the Moyoka Council also saw the distribution of free face masks to each passenger.
Listen to share the face mask instead of us going to buy Council of Moyoka to keep on.
Amidst the present global health crisis, Mayor Laza is also concerned about the economic recession witnessed within his municipality, one of the highest cash crop exporters in the southwest region, due to the activities of armed separatists.
The municipality of Moyoka will have cash crop, so if the farmer cannot sell their cash crop and food crop, at least they cannot send their children to school. Hence,
the mayor is calling on elites in the diaspora and those in bushes to put aside their grievances, as it is time to work towards a once vibrant economy of Moyoka.
My children who are still behind, let them come and meet me, then they give you ideas to develop our Moyoka.
While it is hoped that things will return back to normal within this crisis-hit Moyoka municipality, the population and passengers have been reminded on the need to maintain basic hygiene by washing their hands regularly with running water and soap, wear face masks in a bid to combat the COVID-19 pandemic.
His Excellency President Paul Biya of Cameroon has signed a presidential decree appointing former Minister Joseph Owona as member of the Constitutional Council. Eileen Sama with details in the following report.
The staunch activist of the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement Party, Professor Joseph Owona, replaces Jean Foman Akame, another CPDM fan who died on the 13th of January 2019 in Geneva, Switzerland, following ill health. The new recruit of the Constitutional Council returns to the front of the scene after having left in 2015 at the end of his mandate as president of the Standardization Committee of the Cameroon Football Federation, FECAFOOT. Professor Joseph Owona has held several administrative posts at the helm of the former University of Yaoundé from 1973 to 1985, was appointed Deputy Secretary General at the Presidency of the Republic, and also held several ministerial positions between 1988 and 2004, the last being Minister of National Education. The decree signed by the head of state Wednesday is in keeping with law number 2004/005 of 21 April 2004 to lay down the rules and regulations governing membership of Constitutional Council. It is worth recalling that President Biya, through decree number 2018/105 of February 7, 2018, appointed 11 members of the Constitutional Council. After the death of Foman Akame early last year, a vacuum in the council was created, which has now been filled. Joseph Owona is known to be the architect behind Cameroon's 1996 constitution.
And in same light, His Excellency President Paul Biya has signed a decree that pardons and reduces prison sentences of some prisoners in Cameroon. According to this decree signed yesterday, those charged with crimes against the state and acts of terrorism will not benefit from this pardon. Tabi Claudine with details.
President of the Republic of Cameroon, His Excellency Paul Biya, has signed a decree yesterday, the 15th of April 2020, reducing prison sentences of prisoners in Cameroon. This decree comes in to help reduce overcrowding in most prisons in the country as a means to fight against the spread of COVID-19 pandemic. The 5-article decree has as clauses reduction of death sentences to life imprisonment, commutation of 25 years to persons initially sentenced to death and whose sentence has already been commuted to life imprisonment, amongst other clauses. It is imperative to point out that the provision of this decree shall not apply to the following category of persons. fugitives at the date of signature of the present decree, recidivist offenders, persons imprisoned and sentenced for an offense while in detention, and persons sentenced for crimes relating to the state security, offenses on the act of suppression of terrorism, misappropriation of public funds, just to name a few.
You're watching Prime News on My Media Prime. Opposition leader Professor Maurice Kamto has called on the President of the National Assembly to pressure the Constitutional Council to declare a power vacuum in Cameroon. This follows the end of a one-week ultimatum given to the President to show proof of his active nature in service. Gladys Bomotongina with details in the French language.
Le professeur Maurice Kamto déclare sur son compte Facebook avoir saisi le président et le bureau de l'Assemblée nationale car, dit-il, la loi leur réserve le privilège de saisir le Conseil constitutionnel au sujet d'arriver à constater la vacance de la présidence de la République. Selon lui, il serait dans ses droits de le faire car, précise-t-il, la loi n'indique pas qui peut solliciter le président de l'Assemblée nationale à cette fin. Il leur demande donc d'assumer leurs responsabilités au devant de l'histoire et des Camerounais. Cette déclaration se verra immédiatement contredite par le secrétaire général de la communication du RDPC, actuel ministre de l'enseignement supérieur, Jacques Famdongo, qui déclare que, selon l'article 81 alinéa 1 du règlement intérieur de l'Assemblée nationale, stipulant que seuls un ou plusieurs députés sont habilités à adresser des pétitions au président de l'Assemblée nationale ou encore au bureau. Ce qui, selon lui, rendrait l'action de M. Maurice Kamto dénuée de tout fondement juridique. Il précise par ailleurs que les conditions juridiques pouvant conduire au déclenchement du constat de vacance de la présidence de la République ne sont pas aussi réunies. Il s'agit soit du décès, soit de la démission ou de l'empêchement définitif du président de la République, ce qui n'est pas encore le cas.
And the President of Cameroon, President Paul Biya, today received in audience the French ambassador to Cameroon, His Excellency Christophe Guilou, and both men discussed on ways to fight COVID-19 pandemic in Cameroon. This puts to rest speculations about the whereabouts of the president, as many had suggested his death. According to a recent presidential decision, the resumption of classes are scheduled for June 1, 2020 nationwide. And on to something else. According to recent updates from the Cameroon Minister of Public Health, Minister Manauda Malachi, as of today, Thursday, April 16, Dr. Manauda Malachi, addressing lawmakers at the National Assembly, says there are 21 deaths, 922 infected cases, 374 hospitalized cases, and 30 with assistance of ventilators, and over 200 have recovered from the pandemic in Cameroon so far. And the Cameroon Association of Bible Translation and Literacy, CAPDAL, has joined the fight against COVID-19 pandemic in the country. To better educate Cameroonians, subjects related to COVID-19 have been translated into over 21 Cameroonian languages and made available for the population. Dolly Gonde reports.
As the fight to kick out the ravaging coronavirus pandemic intensifies worldwide, there is limited doubt to say that the biggest challenge experts face during sensitization on the field in local communities is the inability for most grassroots people to understand the new terminology introduced alongside the novel coronavirus. The local man will pronounce words like hand sanitizer as zanitize, quarantine as quarantine, coronavirus as coronavirus, COVID as COVID, and lots more misappellations of the coronavirus concepts. However, the problem doesn't just end at this level, but also at the level of understanding these new words.
I don't really understand what they mean by social distancing. That means if you see your meme, they run, they come up for where they are, I don't understand.
So what do you understand by quarantine?
Quarantine. Now when person cough, and be quarantine. Now that you go that is quarantine.
As a result of this misappellation and misunderstanding of these COVID-19 concepts, Capital, the Cameroon Association for Bible Translation and Literacy, has joined in the fight against COVID-19 by translating a booklet on the subject, What You Need to Know About the Coronavirus or COVID-19, into 21 Cameroonian languages. The General Director of Capital, Emmanuel Keye Lufang, adds that since the official languages are not always understood by people in the grassroots, Capital, on her part, is specialized in working with those in various communities who understand the message of the Bible in their mother tongue than in any other language. As such, this is the same motivation behind the institution's booklet on the COVID-19 pandemic. Capital hopes to translate this booklet into about 40 Cameroonian languages based on information gotten about the virus from the World Health Organization, WHO. The book highlights preventive measures and attitudes that people need to adopt. Main concepts like what is coronavirus, who is most vulnerable to the disease, what are the symptoms, channels of transmission, how to protect yourself, what to do in case of an infection, and definition of some key words have greatly been summarized in the booklet. Printed materials will be shared on their website and other social media platforms in the form of written text and audiovisuals for the comprehension of all. Some community radio and TV stations will also partner in sharing the information during dedicated slots. With efforts like these from Capital, it is clear that those in the suburbs with no mastery of Cameroon's official languages will certainly have information on how to prevent and combat COVID-19. These translations are timely as recommended by the Prime Minister, Head of Government, Chief Dr. Joseph Diongute, within the framework of government's additional measures to fight COVID-19.
Former Indomitable Lions captain Samuel Eto'o Fees, in a press statement released April 15, 2020, has started a campaign to distribute health kits and foodstuffs to some 50,000 households across cities of Yaoundé, Douala, Boya, and Bafoussam. The distribution of the Stop COVID-19 gifts targets the most exposed Cameroonian populations living under hard conditions. Dole Gonde once more in the following report.
Cameroonian government registers a new ally in the fight against the spread of COVID-19 as ace footballer Samuel Eto'o, through his foundation alongside the support of different corporate partners, decides to embark on a campaign to distribute food and health kits to some 50,000 households in the cities of Yaoundé, Douala, Boya, and Bafoussam. This information is contained in a press release which was made public yesterday, April 15, 2020, as the foundation aims at creating more awareness about the COVID-19 pandemic as it embarks on the distribution of the sanitary and food kits. Samuel Eto'o's action will specifically center around educational talks such as the need for individuals to regularly wash their hands with soap and running water, the need for social distancing, the need to regularly sanitize the hands, and lots more. The items to be distributed include 50,000 masks to be given to commercial bike riders and taxi drivers, hand washing kits including drinking water, bleach, soap, and foodstuff such as rice, salt, and many more to the 50,000 households in Yaoundé, Douala, Boya, and Bafoussam. Footballers of the local championships will also benefit from this kind gesture by Samuel Eto'o's foundation in association with the sports management agency Ethiopia and Beto, who have decided to support the players who are in confinement without wages because of the health crisis imposed by COVID-19. The health protection kits and foodstuff will be delivered through Food, the Cameroon Football Federation, to the 1,000 players playing in the 44 clubs making up the different League 1 Men's League and Women's League 1. This initiative by Samuel Eto'o and partners is coming at a time when many Cameroonians have been adhering to the President Biya's call for financial donations against COVID-19, where he initiated the deal with a sum of 1 billion francs CFA, followed by Baba Amadou Dampolo's donation of 100 million francs and that of Senator Nguchinge Sylvester at 250 million CFA francs, making Samuel Eto'o the lone football legend to have reacted to this call.
Out of the country, Chadian President Idriss Déby Itno is one of the latest African leaders to reveal a series of measures beneficial to citizens aimed at fighting against COVID-19 in this country. Electricity for households will be free for a period of 3 months. Water will be free for a period of 6 months beginning this April. Details with Lasha Kingsley. And we will get back to that report in a subsequent edition of the newscast on My Media Prime. And that was it for today's edition of Prime News on My Media Prime. Thanks very much for watching. Join us tomorrow, God willing, at 6:30 for another edition of Prime News on My Media Prime. Desmond Ngwa produced the news, coordinated by Lasha Kingsley. My name is Peldrine Blanch King. Till we meet again tomorrow, stay tuned to My Media Prime. Stay safe. Good night. God bless.
Yes,